So 10 years ago, unbelievably, we created Megahubs, and what we decided to do was to try and look at connectivity at the world's biggest airport. So the starting point was really to say, well, let's look at the 100 biggest airports in the world. And then let's also look at, because we know really that there are some very big domestic markets, but that what we're really interested in this context is international connectivity. So we also looked at the 100 largest international airports in the world. And we looked at our sort of criteria for that was saying, well, let's look at total scheduled capacity, so total seats for a year. And that'll give us a short list of 200 or so airports to look at. What we then said was, well, then let's look at a typical day, and we'll pick the busiest day for global aviation, because that seemed like a reasonable thing to do. And we'll pick the busiest day of the year, and then we'll take a look at those airports in the pool individually and say, what are all the possible potential connections that could happen at those airports? And the tool that we use to do that is Connections Analyzer, which allows us to sort of say, well, based on some parameters for connectivity, what are those potential connections? Factoring in those criteria, so single connections, a maximum circuity, a maximum connection window of 6 hours. What we then do is we run the potential connections for each of those airports in the pool, and that tells us, we get lots of data out of it, but we get, at the end of the day, a number of potential connections for each airport.